Hello, and welcome to Jarviskjir, A Mother's Love.
Hey.
How's everyone doing today? I'm excited to play.
I'm very excited to play.
I am excited to play.
Ever since we ended the last session, I've been hoping it was Wednesday tomorrow, and it never was until today.
You wake up like, today's the day.
The problem is we had such a good session on Monday that now I'm hoping it's Monday every day.
Last Monday's session was spicy. Yeah, we have a high standard to get up to.
I took the reins on some.
You want a D&D game that has a lot of moral quandaries in it that this party would never give a shit about? Monday game on Patreon. Alright. Why waste time? Because I need to change some overlay stuff. But other than that, why waste time? Why don't Dean tell me what happened last week? Because you were so excited.
That's not gonna jive. That's not gonna work.
That is so mean.
I'm not allowed to ask Doxy anymore.
You are super not.
Okay, something metallic bust in to the king's bedroom. Went, ah! And the king went, fucking hell. And then all of us killed it.
Yeah.
And then we were told that we had to go underground into the elves' basement, but there's a dog down there. But there's another way in, but there are a couple of rats instead. And ultimately, we would those rats can control minds, by the way, and they've got like spaghetti sticking out of their mouths because they had a lot of lasagna and
Scary.
And spaghetti spag bol. And ultimately, we chose the dog because the dog is less scary. And then we went to IKEA. We went to Primark. We went to a couple of like crystal shops with a bunch of superstitious people. I took out a loan. I am now skint, and we are now going to kill that dog.
I like to imagine this is how Gilwin's trying to cope. Trying to cope with the chaos of it all.
Oh my god, we barely started and I've already lost my breath completely.
We went to IKEA is where I finally lost it. Yeah, that was good. We went to IKEA.
Never ask me that again.
I will. That was great. Comedy gold, and it makes sure that you're awake and paying attention. That's
make sure that you throw like a lot of uhs and stuff in there, and don't be funny when you say it.
Yeah, the best thing is when you've kind of forgotten and you're trying to remember it and backpedaling and you're going against the grain. It's great. I'm entertained anyway, and that's all that matters, really.
Yeah.
Where'd you start today's session? Still in the city of Thundral. You just did your big shopping fest. That's right, last episode ended with 2 hours of shopping. No wonder no one was talking about it. 2 hours of shopping is such a thrilling watch. With you pretty much ready to head off. I mean, the thing is you don't exactly know where you're going. But you have your map, which you can follow.
You have your map.
It came out. I'm sorry.
I can see the shot.
It came out.
Yeah.
That's why we heard it.
Accidentally.
Before we head out, I did remember one thing that we did. There was mention of of getting a way to contact them because we're going to be going down under. Into the
going down
Underdark.
under.
We need Rocky Talkies. Also, there was an errand that I wanted to do, but it's gonna be. We'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, basically, do you want to last things you want to do in the city is the time. You could always try and find Aaron or Telef or something who might be able to help you with something like that, because they were the ones who were really talking about that as a necessary thing you need, right?
Yeah. Don't know who would be the best bet for that. Aaron, probably. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So we want to go across to him then?
Yep.
Okay.
So you head. Yeah, exactly. But there's like much more flying involved. There's a lot of like taxis, lots of Uber journeys going on in the last couple of days of your life. You actually go back up to the High Palace of Thundrol because that's where Oren is at the moment. I don't know if he's going to go back to Fansharas at some point, because I mean that is his settlement. But right now he's kind of here doing a little bit more of the, let's say, human side as a younger elf who kind of is a bit more pragmatic when it comes to these sort of things. You can actually easily find him. He's not in the palace. The palace, like I said, has this whole vast island of forests and gardens, and there's great courtyards that kind of go up to the palace, which kind of some of them are rised up and things like that. And you actually can meet him when you're like going, oh, how are we ever gonna find him? Oh, there he is. It's over there. And he will. He's as important NPCs are. You know, he's talking to some unimportant NPCs and waves them away when you come over. And will give you like it's not a bow because the relationship between a lot of you doesn't require bows. It's a bit more than a head nod, and will sort of smile and say that I see you haven't left yet. I would understand wanting to stay for as long as possible, given the circumstances.
We have one or two more errands to run, but it will not be. One of them of quite vital import is that we obtain some way of communicating with Aradia, Thundrel, someone authority. So
he actually snaps his fingers and starts ruffling in like a messenger bag he has, like a side bag. I was like, yes, I know exactly the thing. While you say that Gilwyn has powers of communication, we're going to need pictures, not words. He takes out a book, opens it up, appears to be blank, and just rips out a page. You can actually see little sparks of magic happen as he does, and we'll hand it to Serena. This book, the pages are interlinked. You write on one page, it appears on the others. You draw the circle once you found it on that, and I can relay it to the Solar Guard. And hopefully set the old teleportation circles so that we can meet you.
Wow.
Excellent. I believe that was all we needed then. And though Indira has an errand, that is the last of our...
You don't know that I have this errand?
Okay, that I believe is the last of the things we require before setting off.
Unfortunately.
I think we should stay one more night. Start fresh tomorrow morning.
That makes sense.
Enjoy one good last feast of surface food before you go down to the dark. I assume they eat like dwarves down there.
I wonder how that would taste.
Mushroomy.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, that is that awkward.
No one could disagree with that.
Yeah.
I imagine there is probably an awkward silence anyway, because we're all a bit tense anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
He will say a bit of an elvish prayer after you, and you can toddle off. Are you going to head back to the Silver Lining? That's kind of been your little home base while you've been in the city. Awesome. Great. Let me line up some tavern sound effects.
Da, 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 da. Tavern sound effects,
Is that just that on loop? Just
that
Neil.
on loop.
One drunk guy.
Sorted.
That belch that Dean let out earlier.
Yeah, every couple of minutes, just the belch.
Yeah, no. It's welcome. being at the Silver Lining, considering like you said, everyone's tense. Things you have to do, and you'd be spending a lot of money. But the Silver Lining is a very relaxing place, opposed to, you've seen other elvish hotels and taverns and things. The Silver Lining, yeah, it's elven, but in the kind of extremely fancy way where anyone can pay their way. So it is a very relaxing, calm place, but there's enough excitement when you want it. What's the plan?
Well, we should all turn in early, get a good night's rest. Let's head to bed, everybody.
That's
Unusual.
You're like on the way to the bar. Yeah.
Well, I personally I will be getting a drink, and I believe I will spend some time in the pool before I turn in. But the effect is the same, relaxation. It might be the last chance I have for a while to properly relax in a body of water.
I agree. That sounds like a good idea. Gil, do you want a drink? Indira, you can head to bed. Me and Gil can hang out for a little while.
Lads.
Sure.
I can have a drink.
I go up to the room that I'm sharing with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Playing
You'll have to
my
pay
bit
for it again
and
tonight, but that's
Take a nap. Yeah, how much is the room?
Let me check.
Gold,
I
right?
believe it's 2 gold, yeah.
Okay, I got it tonight.
It makes sense because you're going up there.
Alright. Vale would head off to, he'd motion to the window seat.
Yeah.
Whether
You've
there
got
were
a booth.
people in it or not. And then he'd disappear, and he'd come back with the shittest bottle of whiskey he could buy.
Oh, like you go up to the bar and you ask for the cheapest bottle of whiskey. And
Time
like,
for some con saves?
Specifically,
Are you sure?
he asks for the shit whiskey.
Yeah. Are you sure? We have a fine whiskey, and we also have dwarven whiskey from the Crimson Mountain and
My
whiskey from the
tastes
north.
are quite
and,
specific. The worst.
that'll be 4 copper for a big bottle.
Thank you. Just take the silver. Break it
Yeah,
down. It's just
exactly. Yeah.
1 silver, and then he'll take a couple glasses, because they do have glasses.
Yeah, rare. Yeah.
Come back with a bottle of whiskey. Pop
You
it
could
down
even
on
get
the table.
ice in a place like
Oh
this.
well, yes, of course. Why not?
Yeah, which kind of defeats the point of shit
Yeah.
whiskey, but still.
He's gonna plop it down on the table, look at Gilwyn, and say, "This is shit," and then uncork it and pour out a measure each.
Are you feeling nostalgic?
Well, our trip down to the Underdark seems like the appropriate time to remember our friends, especially the dead ones, since we may be going to join them, eh? And he'd raise the glass.
Probably.
To friends,
To friends.
dead or missing,
Or soon to be dead.
or soon to be dead.
Established. You remember what I said yesterday? Last week.
Yes, you want me to stay close.
Yeah.
I remember.
Okay.
I kind of also have something for you.
Oh yeah. Is it a gift? That
No.
gold you owe me?
It's words of advice.
Mm.
If everything goes to shit down there, if we are dying
Mhm.
or going to die,
Mhm.
I would ask that you run and live. I would not want your death to be because you accompanied me on my silly little trip down to the Underdark. I would much rather you carry a piece of me back to the surface, back to the sun. At least then people
like a
would.
leg.
No, that is a metaphor.
Right.
Like my overwhelming charisma, or my abounding confidence, or my impressive swordsmanship, any
Right.
one of those aspects. And tell the story and live and grow old, and then you can have a child and you can name it Erevail. Then whereas if you died, I might feel a bit guilty.
Well, you'll be dead too, most likely.
Yes, but I'm not sure I really believe in dying, seeing as I'm pretty sure my god exists. You don't want to send me to the afterlife or watch me go to the afterlife and then know I am there for eternal guilt.
But I suppose if your god exists, the god that my people believe in most likely exists too.
Of course, yes, right.
And I would assume the afterlife that he resides over, or presides over, whatever.
What?
I would imagine that I would be just as happy for eternity as you are. So there's really little guilt.
What even is your god?
Ollie, what is it? Gilwyn would know, but
it's the Church of Light, specifically Pyth. But you're such a casual religious person, you probably wouldn't even refer to him by name. It's just the Church of Light,
the
which
Church
is
of Light.
a lot of parallels.
Yes,
Sun faith,
it's a
sun faith.
god. Oh. Well, maybe we'll end up in the same place, no? Maybe your god is simply another facet of my god.
You say that, and you become aware of a presence, like literally looming over your seat, of one of those harlequins, the dancers of Baal in their blue clothes, and says, it is said that those who are married go to the same afterlife whether they follow the same god or not.
Vale, is looking at the Harlequin, and then he looks at Gilwyn, and then looks back at the Harlequin, and then looks back at Gil. Oh.
And there is a different ritual for battle brothers. We are clerics of our faith, and we could perform that ritual here for you two if you are scared of the great unknown.
That's kind of cool.
Think about it.
I'd like to have my buddy with me in the afterlife, I mean, or we could not. I'm not bothered.
I can tell you are. 'Cause I am.
No. Why would I want that to spend all that time with my best friend?
Hey, well, consider this. If that happens, or if we do this, and it does in fact work, then you won't feel guilt if I don't run and leave you. Which I won't, by the way. I was completely going to ignore your advice.
Then why don't we do this? And if it happens, we die together, eh?
Sure.
That was... So what does this involve?
Yeah, the Harlequin's wide smile only grows wider, and will take both of you by the hands and pull you up to the kind of stage dance floor that this
Oh no, this doesn't
has?
involve dancing, does it? Because I
Usually it would, but I have seen the two of you try to dance.
wow, that is rude.
I tell it how it is. You're probably going to die. I would not want any unspoken words between the three of us. And he will actually... he and the other dancers will... the other four, because there's 5 of them, will start playing music. Music that you vaguely do recognize, Vale, because it is elven religious music, but it's more casual. And this Harlequin will take, a bag of powdered silver and actually will rub it over his hands, so his hands sparkle with a little bit of light, and will take one of each of your right hands with his, so that the silver is coated in them, and then make you clasp the two together, and we'll say a rite. It's an old Elvish sort of performance. You know, it would be like listening to Shakespeare. You know, it's a very over-the-top kind of Elvish that's a bit harder to follow, but it is quite literally that. Despite the two of you being from different worlds, allow your souls to be bounded together in this world and the next. And after around 20 minutes, the ritual is complete, and you do feel something. You're not sure if it's the the slightly embarrassing over the topness, because people are watching. Serena's watching from
Yeah,
the
Serena
window.
is definitely leaning on the edge of the pool, smirking.
Or the flowery language that this guy uses, or if it's just the actual ritual itself, but you do feel something. The Harlequin will kind of pat both of you on the back, which kind of sends a little bit of powdered silver fluttering into the air, and will say, and from my god to yours, I won't say the best of luck, but happy hunting.
I kiss Vale on the lips.
Great.
There is
So
a cheer. There is a cheer in this
We're back
tavern.
to roleplay publicly. Fantastic. Should we finish off that bottle of whiskey? And you better hope we die down there, because otherwise you're going to have a long wait, my friend.
Wow. That's interesting. I'm glad we had that drink.
Me too, because I don't think I would have stood up there holding your hand in front of everyone for that long. I mean, I'm feeling a little flushed.
I have that effect.
Oh yes, I've seen you have that effect on precisely one lady.
All right. What suspicious shit does Adira want to do? Is this later in the night?
I need to wait till everybody's in bed.
Yeah, I assume that's the last shenanigan that happens. There's people
I imagine they come out like sloshed after the bottle of whiskey.
singing the songs that were at that ceremony.
Gilwyn Gallowgear. Oh, sorry, Indira. Bane of David.
Yeah, absolutely. Eventually, everyone will head to bed, one way or another.
All right. So I would wake up in the middle of the night. I would make sure that everybody was sleeping. I'd be like, boys.
Yes, I don't sleep.
You're also
But you're tranced, right?
you're drunk. When in trance, elves can react to their surroundings.
Indira sneaking out and Vale's just like, where are
Fuck.
you going?
Okay. Well, I would still try very hard to
You can
sneakily-
give me a stealth check with Vale's perception with disadvantage, because
Well, I'm gonna try to sneakily wake up Gilwyn.
Of course she is.
same dealio then.
Okay, stealth.
Mm-hmm. You don't have disadvantage because you're not wearing armor anymore and stuff like that. Perception with disadvantage, Mr. Vale.
Let's hope I roll poorly.
That's
It's a +7. It's
I will give this one to Indira because it
Because you're
thematically makes
curious.
sense. I'm curious. I kind of want to see what happens.
Okay, I would like very gently shake Gil awake.
Mm-hmm.
Vale, you want to consummate the magic already?
Lovely. I need you to come with me.
Okay.
And then I would lead him out the door, and I would be like, I need to find the man that we spoke to in this pub the other day, the one that you located magically. I need to find him. I need to speak to him.
Teller, I think his name is.
Well,
Why?
he knows what I am, and I don't. And I'd like to know before I die.
Oh.
And I need you to come with me because you're a bard and you write stories. And if you survive and I don't, and you're going to tell stories about me, which you are, then I want them to be accurate.
Okay. I could have made something up that was much cooler.
I don't want cool, I want true.
Yeah, that's fair. Come on then. And I'll walk off ahead of her.
Mm-hmm.
I follow him.
He had
He's
a
still
room
down
here.
in that like
Yeah, you
royal
can check.
room.
You can check. Why don't you give me perception checks? You head down to the royal suite. It's it's late. A tavern like this never sleeps because elves also don't sleep, so they party late if they're gonna party. And the Harlequins do their best to make sure that the party does continue. But it is still a little quieter. And when you go down the steps to the royal suite, it's a little bit removed from everything else. You hear Gilwyn through the door that Telef is having a quiet, personal conversation with someone. And you hear a woman's voice talking back, where it seems a little ethereal, like he was talking to a ghost or something.
I think he's with his mom.
Okay. I mean, I got a nap,
Poor taste, dude.
so I'll be fine waiting it out. It's kind of your call, whether we wait or interrupt. I feel like if we're going to ask him a favor, perhaps we should wait.
Why is it my call? You wanted to do this.
Because I'm well rested.
Well, couldn't we have just done this in the morning?
Because I needed to do it now. I needed to do it now. I'm not gonna. You know that Vale argues with everything that I say and want to do.
People are not sleeping.
And if I was to hold up this mission, that he would stand in the way. He would. Had to be done on my time, and I'm sorry that it had to be done on your time too. But I need it. I need it.
I don't mind. I'm just saying, like, this might have been able to wait. But if you,
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. You hear him come over. He's a mixture of the floorboards, plus he's actually quite a heavy dude. Not in a he's a muscular dude, usually wearing quite heavy armor. And opens it up. You see that snowflake thing he had is on the table and is glowing as if some sort of magic was happening with it. And he kind of like leans on the doorframe and looks at the two of you.
hello.
Good
Hi.
evening.
Is this a bad time? Can we come in?
Sure, why not? Why not? Why not? Come in. And he will actually like walk over and passive aggressively pour 3 cups of wine.
Apologies for inviting myself in, but you said things yesterday that I'd like to talk about. You look at me differently than other people look at me here. People look at me here and they see a usurper. And you don't. You see what I am. And I know that it's a little hard to believe, a little crazy maybe, but I don't. And I was hoping you could tell me what you know. About
I suppose
what I am.
that's the only question that matters in one's life, you know? What are you? He will sit down in one of the chairs, because, you know, he has this little table. He'll kick out one of the others. And he goes quite a way across the floor for you to sit on, and will motion for a wine, and will say, when I was a boy, I didn't belong. I'm not a full elf. I was born to a human mother. That alone in the political furies of Aradia is its own kind of exile. So I made friends with creatures of the forest, particularly a fairy, a pixie. I know a little of the Fae. My sister is very enamored with the Fae. I've been learning more and more every letter she sends. And that's what you are. I believe that's something you must know, that you are Fae. You're from the Fae Wild, the mirror world to our own.
I don't know anything. There's more?
Yeah. Well,
right now?
The Feywild is broken up into courts. He actually kind of will rummage in his bag and will bring out a kind of ramshackle map. You know, if you like overlaid it, because it's on a kind of thin paper, on the real on your maps, it is the same shape and everything, but there's kind of circles drawn on it with names scrawled on them in common. And it's like, the Feywild is ruled by courts. You could think of them as countries. You could think of them as kingdoms. You could think of them as religious little pockets. Everyone in that court is loyal to the ruler of that court, and they are created and born and grow to represent that court's ideals, because the Fae are not... They're not material.
She reaches down and, like, starts pressing on herself and is like...
I know, it's that... Yeah, that's where it gets confusing. But... Fae, when they change to fit their friends, to fit their court, to fit their band. You probably never would have noticed it. But I believe, I've heard of Fae with rubies for eyes and gems for eyes and dark of skin. They call Covet to a Lord of Gems. And he will actually tap one of the rings on the map. It's way off to the east of the world, kind of in a Northundern-ish area, but, you know, much on that coast. It's a small court, which is why, you know, I can't give you an absolute. I do not know your mother. I do not know the circumstances of your birth that may led you to be here, but I would believe they are the Fae known for being exceptionally strong and hardy, and that. And he actually looks to Gilwyn and is like, tell me if I'm wrong, but that seems to be the case.
I'm just kind of looking at Indira, like, feeling sorry for her. Can't help it.
So, I cannot go there anymore?
You could go back if you found a way. you would most likely be welcomed by your court. It's hard to compare to anything we have on our world. You wouldn't be considered loyal. You'd be considered a lost child of the court. I don't know if you would like what you've found, though. I have had the occasional flit into the Feywild, and it is not this world. Things you have grown used to would be very different, and I could not even tell you what it would be like in the court of the Gemstone Lord.
How many courts have you visited?
I have deep knowledge of one. The Court of Vegesta is the... My sister is their champion. Then there's Darklings, and there's a lot of courts. He'll show you, the map, and he'll kind of point at them. And they change and they move, and new ones are born. Rarely. You require quite a lot of power to become an Archfey. But, I don't know what answers you seek.
How do I go?
Some Fey just know. Between worlds, there are a few ways. And he will do that. He will sit up. Just like you're trying to get into the Underdark, there's many ways you could get down. To travel between the realms, there are zones where the powers of other realms manifest. There are slip spaces, there are portals, there are powerful magics. Usually it's a portal or a slip space, or the magic of a Fey court itself.
You know where I could go to research this more, so that I can take less of your time?
Aradia, there are churches to the Fae there, even though it's not meant to be allowed. Many of my people in Aradia do call the Fae gods, and you could spend weeks finding out about all their stories and legends of each of these courts. It's an interesting topic.
And if I did want to go there, which I'm, I guess, uncertain of now, but and I were to bring folks with me, would they be safe?
I can't promise that. The world of the Fae is different.
So you keep saying that, but not saying how.
It's hard to put into palpable terms. It's the world of life, is what a lot of people call it. There's a lot more wild creatures, a lot more powerful monsters. And the people, Fae are known to be tricksters and dangerous. A lot of stories you might hear are of Fae tricking humans and mortals into selling their souls, or getting lost in forests for all eternity, or some such things. I'm sure you could make yourself safe. You are very powerful individuals.
I'm not worried about me.
I'm sure you could keep your friends safe. It's not like traveling into the world of shadows or into the hells or the heavens. You'd be able to survive.
Thank you. I think this is enough for now. Thank you for your hospitality, and thank you for telling me what you know.
I'm sorry I couldn't give you a more clear answer, but when it comes to matters of the Fae, the truth isn't a clear answer.
Well, I know more now than I did when I walked through the door. So, for that, I think.
he will get up and open the door for you guys to leave.
I'll offer my hand to shake.
Yeah, he'll give you a hand-crushing handshake.
Thank you for all of the information you've given us.
I am very smart.
You are.
You remind me of somebody.
Ain't nobody like me, said me. Aside from what? Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
That reference.
And he will close the door.
Thank you for
Oh,
coming
God.
with me.
You're welcome.
You can
Feeling
go get
better?
rest now. Feeling confused.
Yeah. That's what happens when you know there's a door and you desperately want to see what's on the other side of it, and you get help opening that door. Only a little bit of light shines through. It doesn't really do anything to satiate your confusion or your curiosity. It kind of just makes it worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Gil?
Yep.
There is one other thing that I want to do before I die.
I've already gotten married once today. I'm not doing it again.
I don't want to marry you. And then she will just put a very soft kiss on your lips and then look at you. She does it again.
You want to perform in front of Vale.
No.
I understand. You want to make him jealous? It's okay. I walk away as I'm saying this. It's okay. I get it completely. Spin around and like walk backwards.
Least satisfying night of my life.
You know why I can't do it? And I'll keep walking.
Nobody has to know you do. She follows.
Alrighty. Suppose you get back to bed, a little unsatisfied. And, oh man, it's not even time for a break. I thought that was an hour. You can awake in the morning, unless there's anything Gil wants to do in the dead of night, while his friends are asleep.
No.
He thought about it.
Yeah!
I didn't. I was going to make a masturbation joke, but I thought better of it, but now you said that.
That's funny. The next morning, I mean, you've woken up in this tavern in this room before. There might be a little more tension between some of you. But it's a nice morning, you know. It's sunny. It's just the right kind of warm. Not too warm. And there is croissants and things for breakfast. Little dainty pastries.
I realised this could be the last time I eat delicious food in quite a while, and I don't want any of it.
No, I could really go for some nice goblin.
And Deer's just like shoving food into her mouth, and she's like, you guys are crazy.
Yes, that is a strange taste.
I have the image of like this very dainty elven breakfast that has like a little pitcher of cream, and Indira is just like, so
It's like
good.
a giant bite of bread and some of it sticking out of her
Yeah.
mouth. Pours the cream on. I love it.
we head now into danger, why not indulge yourself beforehand?
Yeah, why not?
If I don't want it, then there's very little to indulge.
I want it, but I don't want it. You know, it looks good, but I put it in my mouth and I don't really want it anymore. I think perhaps I'm a bit nervous. I've not fought a dragon before.
Hey, think positively. We might sneak by it brilliantly and it'll never know we're there.
Yes, but what if it doesn't? I use a
Well,
sword.
we certainly won't if your stomach is growling as we sneak by.
But
I
alternatively, you could
understand.
belch due to too many croissants.
Or fart because of the amount of pastries you have eaten, and it has upset your digestive system.
I swear to God, if I die, Indira, because you fart, I'm gonna be
I will
very
haunt
livid.
you. Yes.
Will haunt you.
Truly the meaning of a deadly fart.
Serena, you look like you're about to say something. Sorry.
No, I just wanted to point out that unless my understanding is incorrect, I do not believe we will be getting to the dragon in a day.
Well, yes, but it's still the thought of the fact that the dragon is there waiting for us, you know? Like, as I was about to say, I use a sword. A sword is designed for fighting a single person, not a single dragon.
That just means you have a bigger target to hit.
Yes, with my little toothpick, it is madness. You want a spear the size of a boat? Why do they not have spear boats for dragons?
Indira pats her great axe. Looks at it a little lovingly.
You have a bow.
Great, I can
Aim for the
fire.
soft, squishy parts.
I'll fire pins at its underarms.
Yeah.
That's effective.
It's not.
I'll pull out a needle from my disguise kit and prick his neck.
Ow! What? Why did you do that?
Now do that 10 times to a dragon.
And it would turn around and flame me.
Well, do it 10 more times after that, and then another 50, and it might be cross and go away and leave us alone.
Oh, well, I'm hacking bits off of it. Come on.
That's not
Oh.
important.
You know, with a dragon, they actually have scales, so you need to aim. You cannot indiscriminately swing at them.
I don't know. When she's mad. She literally cut men in half.
Men aren't
Indira
dragons.
can't help but smile a little bit when he says that.
Men aren't dragons, that's true, but I would imagine Indira will be fine with that thing. We'll all be fine with our things. We'll all be
Yes,
fine.
we'll worst case, we'll charm it. We'll just sweet talk it a little bit. I bet it's never encountered that from those drow.
Nah, probably not. Don't seem the
don't.
most charming.
No, they don't look like the type. So, what is your plan for getting there? Me and Gilwyn have a Pegasus to fly on.
Take the cart. We talked about this.
You know, I just feel uncomfortable leaving the cart outside the entrance. Or what happens if the dragon decides to bask in the sunlight that day and it hears this little cart trundle up and it thinks, oh, wheels, meals on wheels.
You could take the
Presumably-
cart to Fansharassen and go from there.
Presumably we would notice a dragon sunning itself in the open. I would like to think so, at any rate.
They could take the cart of ways and then walk from there.
I hope it is sunning itself. I feel like it would be much easier to get past a snoozing dragon.
I
Actually,
somehow doubt that it will be sunning itself is if the suspicion that it's some sort of cave-adapted creature is true.
Aye.
It'd be quite nice if it was sunning itself. In fact, that might weaken it.
Can we all just agree it won't be sunning itself?
I think now, in retrospect, we can agree that that was a silly idea. But what if it moons itself at us? I mean, it lies out under the moonlight, obviously.
Do you intend to travel through the night, Vale?
Well,
I'll be fine on a Pegasus.
seeing as our enemies do not like the light and probably like the dark, there's very little point. But things have a way of not going to plan with us, ever.
Yes, that is why we plan to sneak past it, and when that inevitably fails, we kill the overgrown lizard.
So we should plan to kill it. That will fail and we will sneak past it.
Why aren't you guys just flying overhead?
Well-
Why not that? Why aren't you keeping an eye on us the whole time?
I had actually intended to just trot along next to the cart.
Perfect.
I mean,
Let's go.
but we can't take the cart all the way, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But we can. It would be advisable to take it part of the way.
As far as we
Otherwise-
can.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Let's go
Anything el-
rolling back.
anything
That
else?
extremely useful conversation there.
Well, you know,
Everyone-
you had some comedy gold.
Everyone
Stuff
ready?
about dragon butts. I'm down.
Dragons mooning. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Search that in Google.
All right.
I don't recommend it.
It's gonna
You
take
know
you to
what?
some familiar websites there, Diener.
Let's take a little quick early break because we're gonna have a yonder tonal shift and be back in a sec.
I gotta pee.